And that was a terrific performance tonight. Congratulations, Jose.
Thank you.
Why don't you say a few words to the
Que le digas
to the
unas
people?
palabras a la gente.
Bueno, bueno, primeramente, gracias a todos, ¿no? Por estar aquí y bueno, feliz y contento porque un sueño hecho realidad, ¿no? Desde los 6 años que comencé a boxear, fue mi mayor sueño, llegar a ser campeón del mundo y bueno, yo pienso que los retos, si tú te lo propones de buena manera, se cumplen, ¿no? Y yo cumplí el mío.
He said, first off, he wants to thank everybody for coming. He said, this is a dream come true. Since he was 6 years old, he's been waiting for this dream, and it came true, and now he's pushing to get the next one.
And then we'll open up the questions for Jose.
How you doing? This is Coach Anthony with Behind the Gloves. Want to say congratulations on a great fight.
Gracias.
So were you surprised how easy it was for you to hit Darrell this fight with the straight right hand? It seemed like you were hitting him over and over with the straight right hand from the beginning of the fight.
Que si tú se te hizo fácil poder pegarle con la derecha, si te hizo más fácil que la pelea pasada.
Bueno, no fue más fácil, ¿no? Porque esta vez vino un poco más entrenado y aguantó un poco más los golpes. Pero el resultado está en que yo empecé a trabajar desde el principio a fin.
It wasn't easier. It's just he trained more. We could feel Darrell was a lot stronger and well prepared. He just prepared better this time. We knew what to do.
And my next question is, did you in training camp, did you take in what happened in the last fight when his uncle came in the ring and obviously threw that sucker punch? Did you bring that into the fight, this fight, and wanted to really make a statement, or were you just keeping it as a sport and just boxing?
Que si esta vez tenías coraje por lo que le hizo el tío, que si por eso tú peleaste más duro, que si nomás tú sí viniste a hacer tu trabajo.
No, en ningún momento yo tengo rencor por lo que pasó. Ya lo que pasó, como siempre lo he dicho, ya pasó, es una siguiente página y nunca tuve rencor con él por lo que pasó, por lo que me hizo su tío.
Never, at no point. We forgave him since the fight was over last time. He has no bad feelings, no hard feelings for him. He just did his job.
Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Let the champion join.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Ahí en el, donde está el té, el GTV. Ándale, así. Apúntale para que.
Man, again, always a pleasure.
That's great. Got a picture? Yeah, I do. I have 2 teams. I bought a second team. I bought the team in Montgomery, Alabama, the Montgomery Biscuits, and I have the Richmond Flying Squirrels, Double A Giants. Oh my God.
We were at spring training. That's why I was asking.
Oh, that's a great photo. That was a classic heavyweight fight. I mean, both men were in trouble. Deontay, that round where he got hurt so badly, it was so definitively Luis Ortiz's round that I actually forgot after, like when the fight was going on, I forgot Deontay never went down. And when you think about the fact that for all the talk about his, and for the fact that, look, one of the things that makes him such a great champion is that he has some vulnerabilities that are obvious in fights, but he took that barrage from Ortiz and he never went down. And then he took a round to recover physically. And then he came out a different fighter in the 9th round. He came out Deontay Wilder again. And Deontay said to me in the ring, he was laughing because he was doubting. He was thinking that I probably had to change my pants during the course of the fight, and that I didn't think he was going to walk through the fire. And he said, "Tell me the truth. Did you think I could come back?" And what I said to him was the truth. And it was when I saw the round after he was hurt so badly. And I think that the round after he was hurt so badly was the 8th round. And he never took any punishment in that 8th round. And he managed to get through that 8th round. And then I saw him in the corner, and his eyes looked like they were back. And he looked like like I said, he looked like Deontay again. And then he got up off that stool in the 9th round, and I just had a feeling. And Shelly said to me, I walked up to Shelly, and Shelly said, he's still going to get this guy. And he got him. And what is the greatest sign of a champion, man? It's your heart. It's your ability to walk through the fire. It's your ability to overcome adversity in the ring. And he overcame adversity not against an ordinary fighter. And all these damn criticisms and the trolls and the animals on the internet that pick on this guy, no, seriously, and like that have like faulted him for a course of the last couple of years that involved him having multiple surgeries, having 3 fights fall out over opponents, blowing, testing. This is not a guy that ever ran away from anybody. He was on a tarmac to go to Russia to fight the last boogeyman, Povetkin, when Povetkin was still the boogeyman before he failed his multiple tests to come. And that fight got canceled through no fault of his. This fight was going to happen in November, and it got canceled through no fault of Deontay's. And when he could have done the easiest thing on earth, said to anybody in his camp, to my Shelly and myself or Al, and said, I don't need to fight Luis Ortiz. No one's demanding it right now. This guy's a friggin' beast. He knows how to box. He's awkward. He's a counter-punching left-hander with one-punch knockout power. Why do I need to fight him? Right now is the easiest time would have been the easiest time for Deontay to say, I don't need Luis Ortiz right now. Instead, he insisted on Luis Ortiz.
So what does this say, Lou, that he's not only calling out tonight,
Yeah.
considering what a close call you had tonight, would you prefer to go right to Joshua next, or would you risk another fight on the field?
I don't think that, let me tell you something. I mean, tonight didn't make me think that Deontay's losing his next fight if we don't get Joshua fast, and we got to get to Joshua fast. I mean, Joshua walked through the fire against the 40-something-year-old Klitschko after Klitschko had just lost to Tyson Fury. By the way, I'm complimenting him for it. I'm not downing him. It was still Klitschko in front of him. It was still a Hall of Famer, and he was hurt badly by a Hall of Famer, and he walked through that fire. Tonight, Deontay fought a guy that I think is more difficult to fight than anyone AJ's ever fought. I don't think there's a heavyweight in the world that's more difficult to fight in terms of his style and that awkward left-hand power, that counter-punching kind of style. Guys are counter-punchers, but very few guys are left-hand counter-punchers where that left hand can knock someone out with one punch. I mean, tonight, Deontay, took a barrage. He didn't have his best night as a boxer. I think he had maybe his best night as a fighter, I think he showed tonight what kind of champion is. If I'm Eddie Hearn and I'm AJ, tonight's not making me sleep on Deontay Wilder. It's not making me say I want to fight Deontay Wilder next week. AJ could land flush on Deontay and still get knocked out. And he knows it. And Eddie knows it. You know, the fight will happen because the world will demand it, and it will happen. I don't think it's going to be like one of these Pacquiao, Mayweather wait for years kind of things. Will it happen this year? I hope so. The way Eddie's talking, I doubt it. I mean, Joshua hasn't fought yet this year. He's going to fight Parker, who's a good fighter, a unification match at the end of the month on Showtime. Then I'm reading stuff with Eddie all over the internet talking about Jarrell Miller. I don't see him talking about Deontay Wilder. Except to down Deontay Wilder, shit on me, shit on Deontay's whole camp, particularly be disrespectful to the champ. I mean, he's doing all that kind of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think someone would do if they really wanted to make the big fight next. So I'll believe he wants to make it when I stop reading his comments on social media. And I'll believe that he wants to make it. And I think you'll all know that the fight's really in the works when you're not seeing posturing on Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of crap. This fight's going to get made when the people involved are really ready to make it, and it's going to get made behind the scenes, and then it'll get announced. It's not going to be when it happens. It's not going to be because people are sniping each other on social media. I got to tell you, he's got to come back. This has become a home away from home for him. And today, I mean, first of all, there were 14,000 people plus legit here, which, okay, there's some trolls from Great Britain that are going to say, we get these giant crowds or whatever. But you know what? To get 14,000 into a city, not a casino, not where they're bringing in high rollers and people are coming in for vacation, where people are coming in to see a title fight and bringing 14,000 plus people into a building like this is an accomplishment. And the crowd tonight was a totally pro-Wilder crowd. And the crowd was chanting his name, and they were behind him. They were supporting him even through that round where he was so hurt. And they were behind him when he was coming back. And you heard the electricity in the arena tonight, and you heard the response for Deontay tonight. Deontay's turned a corner, not only in New York and not only with the Barclays Center crowd. I think he's turning a corner with the American boxing public. I think he's turning a corner with boxing fans. And if you're really truly a boxing fan, I don't care who you are and what network you side with or if you have any favorites or whatever. When you see guys go into the ring in the heavyweight division and throw down like these two guys did tonight, and you see a guy like Deontay overcome the kind of adversity he faced in the 7th round in that fight to knock out his opponent, tonight was a good night for the heavyweight division. It was a great night for Deontay Wilder.
In the 10th, then I turned over and saw you just screaming at the top of your lungs. Is that the most emotional you've been in a while at a fight?
Man, I've been in this business longer than I haven't in my life. So I've had bouts of emotion. This is up there, with the 12th round in the Martinez-Chavez fight. There was a lot of emotion there. There's the most emotion maybe when Jermaine Taylor in his first fight against Hopkins knocked him out there. There have been moments like that. But no, the thing was in the 10th round, that's when he hurt Ortiz again in the 10th. The first time he hurt him in that round. At that moment, I knew he's going to win this fight. And that's where I got up and started screaming and going crazy just to, And by the way, he had to take a couple of rounds to get himself together. I mean, he was hurt bad in the 7th round, and he took the 8th round as a time to recoup. I mean, he did a lot of things tonight, made a lot of mistakes boxing-wise. It wasn't a perfect night, I'm sure he'll tell you that, but he did a lot of other remarkable things from a heart standpoint, an intellect, a ring intelligence standpoint. I thought actually, interestingly, he didn't probably win the round, but I thought the 8th round might have been one of the smartest rounds of Deontay Wilder's career. And not that he won the round, but the way he managed to be that vulnerable and not take any additional harm or abuse in that 8th round, that was brilliantly done. And that allowed him to recover, and it gave him 2, in between rounds and 1 round of not taking punches, really. And I think it allowed him to walk out in the 9th round as Deontay Wilder again. And then, man, the 10th was, that was sensational.
Did you think they were going to stop the fight?
No,
It looked like they could have stopped it in that round.
you can, but he hadn't. It wasn't like he was being hurt from nobody was being hurt from pillar to post. There were hard punches. I mean, he threw back and he blocked a lot of stuff. he's a young champion that's hasn't taken a lot of punishment. I thought that the referee did a fine job. I thought that give the referee credit for doing the right thing. He didn't stop it. He didn't stop it, and the guy came back and knocked out Ortiz and won the fight.
And then they brought him to the corner afterwards to check his eyes or whatever. I mean, normally they do that if there's a cut. But what would they check?
No, New York now does that fairly regularly. Like if they think there's any chance you were hit with the kind of punch that it's almost like a concussion protocol. Like when they feel like you've been hit with the kind of punch that could have done serious damage, even though you didn't go down, they'll check your eyes. They'll do that. That's now practice.
Hey Lou,
Yeah.
compare Ortiz to Anthony Joshua as an opponent for Deontay Wilder. You think Ortiz could even possibly be tougher of an opponent now after?
I'm not going to say that. It's apples and oranges. I mean, no, it's opposite styles. I mean, what makes Ortiz Ortiz is definitely older than both. I mean, please, he might be able to beat Joshua's daddy, but it might be technically possible. I don't know, but
He's more elusive though.
no. Look, Ortiz he's got a very intelligent ring style, and he's got he gives angles, and he makes it difficult for a conventional fighter to fight him. And then also he lures you into you see this guy's not that fast. He's coming at you. You're trying to knock him out. And he has that left hand that you always know is capable of really hurting you. So you have to watch out. You got to be careful with this guy. And I thought Deontay tried to I thought Deontay could have used his jab a little more effectively and like snapped it out more as opposed to like measuring a lot with it. I think it took him a while to get used to like Ortiz is a bitch. I never thought this was an easy fight. This fight always made me nervous. Ortiz would have been a tough out for Joshua, be a tough out for. I mean, if he fought Parker, maybe he'd be heavyweight champion. Ortiz. I mean, I don't know. Parker's a good boxer too, but Parker's not a huge puncher. Would Joshua find Ortiz a really hard fight? Damn well, no, he would. But he's going to find Deontay Wilder an even tougher fight.
The way this fight played out, was it exactly how you had envisioned it?
Well, I didn't envision like shaking in my seat in the seventh round, but I didn't think the fight was going to go the distance. So yes, check that box off. I thought there was a reasonable chance that both men would be hurt in the fight, so you could check that box off. And I thought we'd win by knockout, so you could check that one off. So in some ways, yes. I didn't think he would have to have a round like he had in the seventh round and come back from that. He showed me a lot tonight, and I already am one of his biggest fans. But like he showed me a lot tonight. As a fighter, as a person, as a man, he showed me a lot tonight. I'm very proud of him as his friend. I'm very proud of him.
I came late, Lou. Did you address Eddie Hearn saying that Deontay Wilder needs to come over to him? He needs a good promoter.
Yeah, but Eddie Hearn also said he was going to come over and take over Brooklyn. Where the fuck is he? I mean, where? He's going to be in a couple of weeks. I probably had more people at my weigh-in. I'm not, he could say what he wants to say. Eddie knows how to promote. He's not he's not a schmo. He knows what he's doing. But I know what the fuck I'm doing too. And I've been doing it since he was a little kid. So he can kiss my natural born ass. It would be great here, but let's face realities. I mean, there's two greatest light. I think it could happen here. I mean, there's no question that fight would sell out this place. There's no question we would set record prices for Barclays Center for that fight. But that being said, it could also go to a soccer stadium in Great Britain, but they can't charge that much per ticket over there. The likelihood would be probably, I'm just going to guess, from an economic standpoint, because there are no expenses, because of gambling and high rollers and sports, betting and the whole bit, that Vegas, and also Brits love to come to Vegas for a huge fight and make a holiday of it. And I think economically the most likely venue would probably still be Las Vegas. But I'll tell you what, if Deontay Wilder was willing to go to Russia, he's coming now? Okay. If he was willing to go to Russia to fight Povetkin, he'd go. If the money was crazy enough, we'd go to Great Britain also. But I personally believe the money's going to be best probably in Las Vegas when it happens. Yes.
Governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, says he's going to clean up Atlantic City. Will Bella Entertainment go to Atlantic City?
Yeah, I actually want to do some more things in Atlantic City. So, yeah. In fact, I want to talk to the mayor about it. So I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call on that, Eric. You could set that up. The governor, or you could set that up because I know New Jersey is your place, babe. By the way, that's the great Eric B. of Eric B. and Rakim fame. The great Eric B. What? Oh, Ortiz. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce somebody that came tonight as a challenger and gave a tremendous account of himself. I don't think there's anyone in here that doesn't believe that Luis Ortiz fought a heck of a fight. And Luis Ortiz came pretty close to stealing a belt tonight. And great respect to his team and great respect to Luis King Kong Ortiz. And this guy is still one of the best heavyweights in the world, by the way. Does Luis want to say a few words just to start? You want to just go right to questions? We'll just go right to questions for Luis. What?
He got his kid.
He's got his daughter. You want him to talk at the podium?
How you doing? Coach Anthony here with Behind the Gloves. Great fight tonight. You fought a very good fight. You had your moments in the fight. Did Deontay Wilder's power surprise you? Were you guys? I mean, obviously you guys knew about the power coming in, but as an experienced boxer like yourself, are you surprised with the power?
Entrando a la pelea sabías que él daba duro. ¿Estás sorprendido? ¿Da más duro de lo que tú pensabas?
Sí, un boxeo es un boxeo pegador, pero bueno, estaba preparado para lo que viniera.
He says, yeah, he knew he hits hard. He knew that walking into the fight, and Wilder proved it today.
And also, do you feel like they should have stopped the fight in that round where you had him hurt, and were you upset that they gave him that extra time in the corner, considering that he seemed badly hurt? Even when he came out of that 8th round, his legs looked very wobbly. Are you upset that they didn't stop the fight, or are you okay with that judgment call by the referee and the doctors?
Dice que en el 7 asalto tú lo tenías ya dolorido. Tú pensabas que tenían que haber parado la pelea ahí. Y si pensabas que después que salió en el 8, que le dieron tiempo de nuevo para recuperarse, si pensabas que eso estaba bien.
No, pero bueno, el destino es el destino. ¿Qué vamos a hacer?
He says it's boxing, and it's destiny. It's destiny. It was his night tonight. Any other questions?
Yeah, Luis, how would you rate Deontay Wilder, comparing him to all the other heavyweights now that you've been in the ring with him?
Comparado a todos los heavyweights que tú has boxeado, ¿cómo tú opinas de entre todo lo que has boxeado y toda la gente que hay afuera?
Nada, en un poquito se ha ganado el puesto de ser campeón, de luchar también como yo.
He says little by little, like he's done for his daughter, he's won his place, and he's one of the best he's ever fought. He proved it tonight.
And versus Joshua, who wins that fight?
Entre Wilder y Joshua, ¿quién gana la pelea?
Todo puede pasar.
So anything can happen, two big punchers.
Luis, it looked like after you hurt Wilder, you threw all those punches and you were a little bit gassed out, just a little bit tired, and that gave Deontay some time to recover. Did you want to throw more punches during some of those middle rounds, but you just didn't necessarily have the energy at the time?
después de 7 asaltos que tiraste tantos puñazos que lo tenías ahí, ¿tú crees que eso fue una de las razones que después bajaste un poco de poder tirar tantos puñazos y por eso se puso la pelea como se puso?
Nada, en todo boxeo, yo vine preparado para 12, 13 asaltos, lo que hubiera. Un golpe decide cualquier pelea. Hay muchos vieron que no.
He said he came ready to do 12, 13, 14 rounds, but a one-punch power that clips you when you're heavyweight, you can't do nothing about it. Any other questions? Just because we're pressed to go, as little girls have to go. They got to catch a 10 o'clock in the morning flight.
Luis, congratulations on the spirited effort tonight. I think everyone in the arena was impressed with you. So question is, do you want an immediate rematch, and do you think Deontay will give you one?
Todo el mundo está bien impresionado con hoy el boxeo que hiciste hoy. ¿Tú quieres pelear de nuevo rápido con Wilder? Y si tú crees que él te lo diera.
Bueno, si de verdad tuviera aquí, piensa que me la merezco la decisión de ustedes.
He says, yeah, he wants it and he thinks he deserves it, but it's up to Wilder. It was a great fight. Thank you. Thank you, guys. We have to catch he has to catch a flight at 10 in the morning.
Thank you.
One more.
Thank you,
Go ahead.
Luis.
We'll let him. Go ahead.
Gracias.
Let him. He won't. Hold on, Luis. Go ahead. Ask him.
I just want to see for him, does he feel he could have finished off Wilder in those 2 rounds that he had him really hurt?
The 7th and the 8th round. ¿Tú crees que si hubiese dejado un poquito más, ahora que si ves la pelea, lo puedes haber sacado ahí en el 7 y el 8 o le quitaste un poquito el pie, tú crees?
No, vine a hacer mi trabajo, Con una persona como Wilder uno no puede ir a lo loco porque tú no sabes con qué te va a tirar.
He says he came to do his job, and the problem is he could have gone more, but with a person like Wilder, you can't just go crazy. And he thinks that's what happened, and he just got too comfortable. Yeah, he got too comfortable, and he just didn't respect him, and he got caught with a punch.
Pero sí me gustaría una revancha.
But yeah, he would like a rematch if the public wants it. He wants it. Y agora Wilder, se merece.
Claro.
Hold on, he wants it. Say something for Wilder.
No por gusto el hombre se ha mantenido ahí, ha luchado por su hija. Mi hija también tiene su problema y que Dios bendiga a su hija y que siga adelante.
He says Wilder hasn't got there for nothing. He knows he has a sick little girl too, and he wants the best for him, and God bless him and his family.
Thank you. That man's still a problem for almost everyone in the heavyweight division. The guy that's walking out right now is a terrific heavyweight. He was also in hella shape for a guy that's around 40 years old. I mean, that was a cardiovascular effort. I mean, that Ortiz was in shape. I mean, he fought well. That's the other thing about tonight. Deontay walked through the fire, not against, it wasn't Deontay's best night, but he was fighting a guy that was having a good night. He beat Ortiz on a good night, on a night where there were no excuses, on a night that it was good stuff, man. It was good TV. It was fun as a fan.
In his absence, I'll just ask you, Lou. It's pretty throwback for a heavyweight in this day and age to show up to a weigh-in at like 214, especially if he's facing a guy like Ortiz at 240. What do you think that sort of slimmer build does for Wilder in terms of, I don't know, having more energy, or why now, and would he have the same?
I don't know, man. I was surprised by how light he was, and I mean, you could ask him the question. I don't know if I don't think he was sitting around, by the way, he's a heavyweight. I don't think he was trying to lose weight or gain weight. I think that's just sort of what happened. Sometimes you see a guy that thin and you wonder if he overtrained. He didn't fight like a guy who overtrained tonight. He really didn't. He was still very strong at the end of that fight, even after having been hit pretty hard. He was pretty strong late in that fight.
Fair
Yeah. Man, it's a beautiful thing in boxing, and I know there's great fighters in the room sitting here. By the way, champ, nice to see you. The great Badu Jack. I don't know. I was impressed tonight. I was impressed. But it's hard to come back from a round like that.
You're a cynical man.
What?
I said that you're a cynical.
Oh, I'm a very cynical guy. You know, I really am. You know, I was impressed that he didn't go down. That to me, in a weird way, might have been the most impressive thing to me. That he stood on his feet that whole entire round. That he never went down. He never took a count. And then it was really how he came back in that 8th round by boxing carefully and staying away and not getting hurt, not getting hit. He did not take any punishment in that 8th round. That allowed him to come back in the 9th.
You said backstage on the podcast that he got sick. He had illness.
He, you know, he's not. You know, he ain't gonna make any excuses. There's no reason for him to make excuses for his performance, but he seemed to have.
For his weight. He said that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that. And by the way, he still had a cold, and it seemed like he had a cold tonight in the dressing room. Had to spit out a lot and stuff. But I mean, it's not an excuse. He was able to fight well. I mean, look, there's a big when you're used to fight. His recent fights have been more like a 220 something or 220, and Ortiz is a big guy. I mean, look, when I saw how low his weight was, and that Ortiz was at a solid weight for him at 240, and looked like he was in good shape, and I know that Ortiz can punch with one punch power with his left hand, I haven't been comfortable for weeks. And I certainly wasn't comfortable after the 7th round. But man, you know, for anybody, like everyone in boxing, like there's so many critics. Everyone likes to criticize everybody. No one's ever happy with anything. This fucking sport, it's fucking hilarious. But like, you know, what makes boxing such great theater, which makes boxing such great poetry, is it's the mano a mano, the man against man, the woman against woman, and the drama that's created when two people get in there, and all these external factors, like it's athletic ability, but it's also its desire and its ability to sustain punishment, its heart, it's how much, you know, what your balls are like, what your self-confidence is like, all those, you know, intangibles. And it's all those intangibles together that determine if someone's a great champion or not. And on a night where he probably, like I said, didn't have his most perfect night as a boxer, had a great night as a fighter, and had a great night as a person overcoming adversity to prove himself. Deontay never in that fight stopped believing in himself, even when he looked like he was out on his feet in the 7th round. That's what a champion is. That's what a champion is. That's what it's all about.
Joshua would be motivated to get in there? You think he showed enough vulnerability to get up?
Well, any vulnerability showed in the 7th round that would make Joshua want to get in there, he's going to watch the 10th round and not fucking want to get in there. That's my guess. That's what he'll watch the 7th round and say, yeah, okay, I can clip this guy. And then he'll watch the 10th round and say, well, maybe I don't want that.
It's kind of crazy though, because he mirrored Anthony's fight with Klitschko in a way.
In some ways, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, there were similarities. I got to say, I think, and there's no disrespect to Vladimir, who is a clear first ballot Hall of Famer, in my mind, one of the 8 or 9 best heavyweights of all time. I mean, I give him every accolade on earth. But he had just lost to almost every round to Tyson Fury. And at the point in his career, he fought the last fight of his career against Joshua. I take nothing away from Joshua. He did what he was supposed to do. He won, and he walked through the fire himself. He was hurt badly, came back and knocked Klitschko out. That being said, I don't think, and I don't mean this with any disrespect, I don't think Deontay, that Klitschko that was in the ring for the last fight of his career, I personally believe would not have defeated Deontay either. And the Luis Ortiz that was in the ring with Deontay tonight, I think would be a problem for anyone. For Anthony Joshua, for Joseph Parker, for Jarrell Miller, for any heavyweight you can name, because the man, the reason this guy was 300 and, I mean, it was ridiculous. What was it, 341 and 19 as an amateur? I mean, this guy had a gazillion fights forever and spent years and years beating people with amateur skills, and you know, when it wasn't a knockout game, and then turns pro and is knocking everybody out, and then is a lefty counterpuncher, which I mean, punchers in general, but lefty counterpunchers, they're the hardest guys to fight. I mean, it was a very, I mean, we all knew when Deontay insisted on this fight that he was insisting on the hardest fight that he could take. I like the Joshua fight, you know. I mean, is there danger? Of course there is. You know, they're two very good heavyweights that can punch a lot. But I don't know, if Deontay hits Joshua the way Klitschko hit Joshua, Joshua don't get up. And if he does get up, he goes back down. What? Yeah, you know, look, man, I got to be honest. Terrell's my boy. He's from Brooklyn. I know. Yeah, I knew. I mean, he's like, come on, stop. You don't have to get into the ring. Let the champ have his moment and fucking sit down. But that being said, at the same time, Terrell's a hungry guy out there trying to create an opportunity, trying to make noise, trying to get people to pay attention to him, and he wants to make a lot of money. And frankly, he's got a big personality, which has gotten him to this point. So I got no hate for him. He's just doing his thing. But at the same time, I don't blame him for throwing him the foot out of the ring. He didn't belong there. What? I mean, tonight was cool. I mean, Brett was in, you know, the Barclays Center people were thrilled. The crowd was sensational. But it wasn't just like the number of people. It was also the, you know, how alive the room was, the electricity in the room. You know, the electricity in the room, you know, I love casinos and that they pay big money and that you go to casino sites. But when you're in like a regular arena with, you know, in a home atmosphere, like you're in Brooklyn, you're in, you know, New York, you're in, if a fighter's from a particular place, if we go to Alabama when Deontay's fighting there, whatever, you get a different kind of atmosphere. And I thought the atmosphere in the arena tonight, I thought the atmosphere tonight was as good as it's been for any event we've ever done here. Yeah. That's the second fight I've been involved in when they shot scenes for a Rocky movie at it, so. What? Yeah, but you can't orchestrate people when to scream and yell exact moments when the fight's going on. What? Yeah, but I'm sure it served their purposes, believe me. Okay. Deontay's 2 minutes away. vitamins that he had been taking that are completely legal, normal vitamins, but vitamins he'd been taking changed the color of his urine to a strange color that caused the commission to have a concern that there might be blood in his urine. Obviously, if someone has blood in their urine, you don't want them fighting. Blood in your urine is a pretty serious thing. So the commission had to make sure that there wasn't, but that required having a specific kind of test here at our disposal that we didn't have. So we actually sent an ambulance to an emergency room, got a doctor back here with the necessary test. He tested Uzategi's urine, which was normal and fine, and there was nothing wrong, and the fight went on. But as of 9:20, we didn't know if the fight was going on. At 9:23 or whatever it was, we got clearance to walk it to the ring, so everything worked out great. But that's a little stressful when you're already on TV and you're not medically cleared to send the fight into the ring. It caused it B12. It's actually not that. It's a matter of people take B12 like often, and it just has that effect. There's other supplements and vitamins that have that effect too. But from the standpoint of the commission, the change in color necessitated doing tests to make sure that there was no blood, and there wasn't. He was fine. Obviously, he was fine. Now he was fine, he went in there and won a title. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I thought it was a very entertaining fight. I thought the girl that came over from Belgium actually could fight a little bit and might even have won a round or two early in the fight. But I thought Alicia fought great. I thought it was a quality women's title fight and a good night. I thought it was really good for her. She made a good splash. So he's on his way? Okay. I thought that she sold a lot of tickets tonight. I think a lot of people enjoyed watching that fight. It was really entertaining. So I think it was a good night for her and for women's boxing here tonight. Yeah, you're going to see her back absolutely in the Barclays Center in one of our next couple of fights cards. I still haven't seen it. There was one big show tonight. There was only one big show tonight, bro. Who won, by the way, in those fights? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, baddest man on the planet, the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. You can sit, or you can stand, whatever you want to do, bro.
Oh, it's my turn?
Does he have to? Yeah, I guess so.
It does feel bad to make you stand. Like, no one really wants
It's
to
all
do it.
good. It's all good.
How you guys doing? Thank you for waiting so long for me. I know y'all guys ready to go home, but tonight was a magical night. I knew I was in for a fight. Luis Ortiz is the most technical fighter in the division. We already knew that with the Cuban background. And, you know, when guys come and fight me, we know they're going to bring their best. We know they do things that we never seen them do. Look at this man. He was running. He was doing things that we never seen him do. But when you finna fight the king of the division, you better get yourself prepared. You better get yourself mentally ready, because I got a heart of a lion, man, and that's just what it is. You know, I tell people all the time, I'd rather be the part than look the part, and I showed that tonight. It's not about weight. It's not how big a person is. It's not about all of different things that people, you know, get so wrapped up in their mind about boxing. You know, boxing is a beautiful sport. It's a sweet science to this, and it's all about who got the bigger heart. And tonight I showed I had the bigger heart, and I solidified myself at the top as the baddest man on the planet. You know, and you know, like I've always said, my mission is to unify the division. As you can see, I'm not afraid to
to risk myself for small rewards with bigger risk, because I want to prove to the world that I am the best. That's my ultimate goal, to prove to the world I am the best. You know, people got this thing so wrapped up. They done got so wrapped up into who making the most money, who got the most followers, who doing this, and you know, it ain't about that to me. It's about me proving who's the best. And America got a killer on their side, and I'm ready to put up my title with to anybody in the world that's ready for me. You know, I feel once I beat Luis Ortiz, it ain't nobody else with the skill set that's gonna be able to beat me. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Guys, we're gonna wait on the mic. Wait till you have a mic. Just announce your name and your outlet.
Deontay, Chris Mannix with Yahoo. To your left. After the 7th round, when you went back to the corner, what were you thinking? That was probably as deep as you've ever been with an opponent.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you know, I really wasn't thinking nothing, to be honest. I really wasn't thinking nothing, to be honest. You know, I knew that once I got out of that whirlwind that he had me in, you know, he had me in a whirlwind, and I had to get up out of there because he throw nice combinations. And, you know, I think when he put guys in that whirlwind, they give up. Their hearts start to play in, and it started to become a mental thing. And I always tell people, if you speak it, believe it, receive it, then you shall do that. And I speak things like I speak it because I want to be a living witness. It's nothing like showing people, and then they believe it. Because a lot of people always say, I have to believe it. I have to see it to believe it. If that's the case, then I show people each and every time that I'm going to show you, then you believe in it, you know. And, you know, I can't be saying things and don't show it. You know, that's my biggest thing. I want to show people all you got to do is believe in yourself. No matter where you are, no matter who the opponent is, no matter who it is. It don't even have to be boxing. It can be just this, what you're doing. Like, just being, you know, you can have a regular job. You always want to be the best. You know, my first job was working at Burger King. And the thing about it, although it was a low-paying job, but I made sure I was the best worker there. Anything I do, I want to be the best at what I do. And I show it each and every time in the ring. So now I am 40-0 with 39 KOs. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Did you catch a second win?
Well, I was never tired. I wasn't never tired, you know. I was pacing myself. I don't make excuses. You know, I could have made excuses. I caught a cold in camp and stuff like that. That's why I lost so much weight. But I didn't want to make excuses. I didn't want to, you know, I feel when people make excuses early on, they already looking for a way out. So when they lose, it's, oh, you know, he was sick and stuff. I didn't want to do that, you know, and I just showed that I had the heart.
Deontay, Aaron Suttle, Tuscaloosa News. Are you going to call out Anthony Joshua? Do you want him next?
How many times do I have to call him out? I mean, how many times? They hiding, you know. You know, his promoter don't want that fight. And after tonight, they definitely ain't going to want it. But it's going to be up to you guys. It's going to be up to the fans. I've done enough. I've spoken enough. I really don't even want to talk about the dude no more because I've said all I had to say. And after tonight, I don't need to say no more. All I want to do is prove to the world that I am the best. I'm the baddest man on the planet. And, hey, whenever they ready, we'll be ready. They talking about calling them. How many times we got to call them? All you got to do is pick up the phone.
Deontay, congratulations on the big win. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Something you said before the fight, something you said after the fight. In the 7th round, when you're in trouble, how important was that belief to your victory?
It was very important. It's just like I said before. I can't be speaking things and not follow what I say, you know. Then I'd be contradicting myself. And then how could people believe in anything that I put out there if I don't do it, if I don't follow behind what I say, you know. I want people to be able to empower their minds. I want people to be able to have confidence in themselves. You don't need a room full of people to believe in you. All you need is yourself. All you need is yourself. You don't have to have a lot of people, you know, because most of the time people will let you down. Human will let you down, you know, especially when you have family or friends or whatever. Most people are happy for you until you get to a certain point in your life or when you get or when you start doing better than them. And then that's when that support, that's when that hate started to come in. But if you believe in yourself, you ain't got to worry about that, you know. You'll tell the difference between who's for you, who's not. And that's when you can take that leap of faith and say, you know what, I know you ain't for me, you know, and you just go forward with that. You know, we too worried about what people may think of us. We too worried about what people may say about us. You know, it's not about that. I always say if you took 6 months to worry about, you took 6 months to worry about yourself and 6 months to stay out of other folks' business, shit, a whole year that went by, you done focused on yourself. Look how far you can make it.
And quick follow-up. Last fight, 50 Cent walked you to the ring. This time, Lil Ken. How did you and the Queen Bee get in contact for that to happen?
Well, you know, again, my brother Manu Jones, man. You know, everybody call my brother now. That's how I build a relationship with these other peoples, you know, which was a beautiful thing because I feel everything I do now is gonna make history, you know. And I made history with her tonight because it's never been a fighter to bring a female out, and I think she did a great job for what she did. And it's gonna be many more. Everybody want to do the walkout and stuff. You know, I'm really not interested in people walking out and stuff like that. But I do believe in giving the opportunity. I do believe in, you know, letting people be happy and do what they want to do. If that makes them happy, then I suck certain things up and say, what's up? Let's make it happen. Because I can just I don't even have to come out to no music, you know what I mean, at all. Because I be so into the zone. I be so focused, you know. Man, it'd be a different person. Right now, I feel calm right now. Before, I was the bronze bomber. You know, now I'm Deontay Wilder. I can relax, I can laugh, I can be silly, and I can just live my life. I'm finna go home and lock myself in the house amongst my children and let them love all over me.
Deontay, Keith Idek from BoxingScene.com. Do you think all of what happened tonight will make Anthony Joshua want to fight you more or less?
I'll let you be the judge of that. I mean, even before I fought Luis Ortiz, it wasn't nobody. Ain't want nobody calling our phone. You know, his people came all the way to America, and I got my people on stage to be able to witness that. They came down here talking about other fighters. You know what I mean? They don't want this fight. Eddie Hearn is, you know, he having fun milking the cow, like I said. You know, I heard one person made a comment and said, well, he can milk me. You know, well, I ain't in the business of being milked. I'm in the business of looking to see I want to see who's the best. You know, it's good to make money and stuff like that, but how long you gonna cheat the people out of their money? How long you gonna be able to just sit around and just fight these guys that ain't even worthy of it? It's like I gotta go through so much just to get a fight. They tell me I need to do this, I need to do that, but what do these other guys have to do? You know, I have to raise a profile. I have to. Man, so y'all know, y'all done heard this stuff. But what about these other guys? What do these other guys have to do? Why is it only me? You know, people be expecting so much of me. I had to look good in the ring. I have to fight the best, and I have to knock them out. And I had to win all the rounds. That's the situation that I'm in. But, you know, I don't pay attention to people. I don't worry about what they say about me, but you will watch me work in that ring. Like I said, there's no man that have stood in front of me that I haven't knocked out. And I'm going to continue my knockout spree. Other people may look at me and think about and see other things on the outside, but these fighters know when they get in the ring, it's going to be a fight.
Over here, Deontay, Dan Rayfield. Dan Rayfield from ESPN. Congratulations.
What's up, Dan?
Tremendous fight, but my question for you is, you a lot of talk about Anthony Joshua. My question is, on March 31st, are you going to be ringside in Cardiff, Wales to watch that fight? And if so, or even if you're not there, who do you want to win? Because maybe if Parker is the winner, maybe you'll have an easier time making a unification with him, since I know you want the belts not necessarily Joshua.
Well, unfortunately, Sky Sports definitely have hired me to come out and be a commentator, so I'm looking forward to coming to Cardiff. I've never been to Cardiff before, so I'm looking forward to making myself presence there and love on my fans. You know, I got a lot of fans in the UK. And as far as who winning, it doesn't matter who wins. Of course, everybody wants to see Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, of course. And with Joseph Parker, I don't know. They say they want to fight, but they had the opportunity to fight me before. That's why they came to Alabama to the fight and stuff like that. But when I knock people out, people start to get indecisive of what they really want to do. You know, certain people say certain things for the media to entertain the crowd, to entertain the fans. But what I say, I really mean. Like I've said many times before, I only speak from my heart. You know, and my mouth is only the translator to what my heart is really saying. I have no filter. I'm going to bring it to you raw. I'm going to bring it to you uncut. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes I say certain things that may make people feel uncomfortable, but I'm a real champion. I'm the realest champion in the business. You know, sometimes that may mess up marketing or certain things that people look at you and stuff, but I'd rather be real with myself and to the people than being a fake person amongst the people just to get a little money out of their pocket. You know, my life is great. I got a beautiful family. I got beautiful children. I got a beautiful woman. You know, what more do I need? You know, money ain't everything. You know.
Two more questions.
One more follow-up for you, Deontay. You both are champions and have made multiple defenses. Your biggest win, obviously, was tonight against Ortiz by knockout. He's got the big win against Vladimir Klitschko that stands above all of his other victories. Which do you think is the bigger win to the public? You knocking out King Kong or him knocking out a big name like Vladimir Klitschko?
I think me knocking out King Kong. You know, King Kong is undefeated. Vladimir was, you know, he'd been beat many times, and when he fought Joshua, he was already beaten. He wasn't a king. He was already dethroned. You know, we know that. He was coming off almost a 2-year layoff, you know, and really Joshua didn't win that fight. You know, Vladimir lost. You know, he lost that fight. He had 3 opportunities to get that guy out of there. But, you know, he made the wrong decisions at the wrong time, and it cost him, you know. But if you're looking at a guy, you're looking at the same fighter maybe a year or 2 years ago that knew how to finish a fighter, then we wouldn't even be talking about this. You know, they still on their high horse about that win. But how can you really be on your high horse when somebody else already dethroned them, you know? And we already know who did that in Tyson Fury. So, you know, they can celebrate that only for so long. And I feel that with Ortiz, he got the better skills. He's definitely motivated to prove himself in this division. That's why it took him so long to get world title. Nobody wanted to fight this guy. Everybody ducked this guy. No, you know, you got promoters signing this man just to keep him away from fighters. Now, we see it. It's just, I mean, enough of the bullshit. I'm sorry about the language, but it's just, like I said, I don't have a filter. I'm the realest, you know. Once I unify the division, they can have all their belts back. I just want to prove a point to myself and to the world that I am the best in the world.
Final question.
Huh?
Deontay, I'm right here, brother. Deontay, congratulations on winning a heck of a fight. Going with what happened in the 7th round, were there any concerns that the referee may stop the fight? And once you survived the 7th round, did you think you were winning the fight, or were you concerned that you were running out of time?
No, I didn't think the ref was going to stop the fight. I mean, when you got a contender and a champion, you let the fight continue. You know what I'm saying? You let people get their money worth. And I think the referee did a wonderful job that night. You know, I wasn't hurt. I was in a whirlwind. You know, I never thought Ortiz had power. I said that before. You know, he had me in that whirlwind. I was trying to get out of that tornado. You know what I mean? I mean, he put a lot of punches, combinations together well, you know. And I told Ortiz that he's never been in a fight with a fighter like me, so confident, with a natural killer instinct, with a mindset like mine. You know, I control my mind, you know. My mind is so strong. That's what meditation comes from. You know, it's a powerful exercise, exercising your mind. Like I said, I've fought him 100 times in my mind through meditations, through meditation. So, you know, getting in that just proved, I'm glad I got into that situation because I showed people a lot that I can take a punch, that I can, you know, overcome adversity, you know, and now what else to be said? What you gonna keep saying that I'm sloppy, I'm windmilling, or whatever? What else you gonna be saying, man? At the end of the day, styles make fights, and my style is what it is. I continue to prove to the people that I'm gonna continue to win. I'm gonna continue to knock these guys out with the style that I have. So people just gonna have to deal with what I got and just love on me as I love for you guys and entertain you guys and give you some of the best fights. Like I said, I took a stand and took a great risk with a small reward, just to show you guys that I am the best. You know, because I consider Luis Ortiz the best, and it was an honor to get in the ring with him. You know, like I said before, I wanted to give him that second opportunity because he had a daughter with a disability, as well as my daughter with a disability, and I know how that feels to have as a father, to have children that we love so much with a disability. So no matter what it was, I wanted to give him the opportunity so he can be able to support his family. Win, lose, or draw, man. You know, it was an amazing night. I respect him. I hope he still become prosperous in his career and still don't give up, no matter what the age is, because we'll probably never know. But, but I wish him the best, though. I really do. He's a great guy. And sometime in boxing, we have to transform into this killer. You know, as you can see, I don't know. It's just, in boxing, when it's time to fight, I'm the bronze bomber. That's serious. Like, I don't care about nothing. I really try to hurt my guys, but then when it's over, I can love on my guys. I can show sportsmanship. You know, I can hug them and kiss them and say, "Great job, man. I appreciate you, King," and go on to the next one. That's what this sport all about. This is a beautiful sport. It'll never die. It'll be around for a long time, man, especially due to the support of you guys. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for supporting this card. It was a wonderful card, man. I think everybody got their money's worth tonight. Thank you, guys. Bless you. Shelly Fingers, everyone.
What I want to address and try and put to bed once and for all is this Joshua fallacy. The fallacy is that Deontay, in some fashion, is avoiding Joshua. I have a letter here that is dated November 29th. It was the evening of the day that I met with Eddie Hearn's father, Barry Hearn. He said at the meeting, "I think we could do bigger business in Las Vegas because I can bring over 20,000 Brits who will spend more money just like they did for Ricky Hatton." I said, "Fine, put the numbers together. We're ready to make a deal." I got a letter, and I'll quote it from Eddie. "Glad you had a good chin wag with the old man." You know that came from him. That's not language we speak here. "I will get the respective P&Ls, profit and loss, to you this week for discussion," meaning what we would make in the UK, what we would make in Vegas. "All the best, Eddie." That was November 29th. I have never heard from him since, okay? The bottom line is, if someone wants a fight, it gets made. We have not begun negotiation with him. We are fine to fight in the UK. We are fine to fight in Vegas. In one of the more recent interviews with Eddie Hearn, "Why'd you take such a risky fight?" That's our business. You want to fight who you fight, fine. You want to try and dodge Deontay so you could pick up another payday? The fact is, if it was another sport like football, you'd have a Super Bowl and the #1 team would be there. If it was the World Series, if it was the NBA. Here you have one of the two best fighters in the world ready to fight. The dollars will get made if Joshua wants it. I know, no matter what is said, he doesn't want to fight now. Nothing to do with cowardice, nothing to do with anyone else. Deontay, he knows, is the only one who could beat him. He will fight when it's ready. Right now, he's dodging us. Thank you.